But let's talk about this. Let's talk about a movie called Stop Motion, which I can promise you from the get-go is not for everyone. It is a dark horror film about a young woman who is a stop motion animated artist. Her name is Ella Blake, played in the movie by Aisling Franciosi. So she's a young woman she's working on a stop motion project at a production studio. But she's also working on her own little side stop motion project. Worlds begin to collide where the fantasy and reality in her head of the stop motion character kind of takes over. There's also where basically she's seeing the images from the stop motion world begin to collide with her real life. What it's also about is this movie is about artistic integrity, because other people try to steal her ideas, and she takes great offense at this. She takes offense at like people trying to steal this. That's my idea. That's my stop motion character, right? Finally, this madness sort of collides in the real world where a full size version of the stop motion character she's been animating just collides with her world. It's dark. It's bizarre. It's and I'll just say this. I know this movie is not for everyone. I mean, the imagery is creepy. It reminds me of the Brothers Quay. If you've ever heard of the Brothers Quay, these are stop motion animated artists, I believe from Poland. Correct me if I'm wrong. Who did these stop motion movies where they would use junk and garbage and like doll heads and weird stuff. And this was in the 1980s. I love the Brothers Quay. It was just so surreal. And this movie kind of captures the darkness of the Brothers Quay. Also, by the way, I used to make stop motion animated movies when I was a kid. I used to have a character named Incredible Melting Marvin, which I would send on adventures. I made like 4 or 5 different short films with this character. The movie is creepy, dark. You're going to be squirming. It's not particularly dialogue heavy, which I really like. And it really hits a creepy tone. And a warning for this movie. It is not for everyone. Rated R, obviously horror film. You're going to see some imagery that is going to be shocking. I believe the movie is in limited theatrical release. It is coming to Shudder. And I'll just say that I personally really enjoyed it, but I will understand if you do not enjoy it. I think a lot of it is just like, I've made stop motion animated films. I know how solitary it can be. And this movie really captured that. Like, you're in a room by yourself, click, you move everything, click, you move everything, click. It's boring, right? And the fact that the stop motion world kind of infects this woman's brain, I really enjoyed. So not for everyone. If you want to roll the dice and take a risk on a bizarre, sick, weird horror film, I think bet on this. But it's going to be 50-50 shot whether you enjoy it or not. I happen to enjoy it, but I felt more of a personal connection. I like stop motion animation that isn't, say, Coraline, right? Or something that's fanciful or whimsical or for children. This is not for children at all. No child should see this movie. It's rated a 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb. I would give it more of a 7 or 7.5. And I enjoyed it more for personal reasons. And I like the other thread, the sort of running thread and theme of someone trying to steal someone's art, someone trying to take credit for something that someone else did. And I thought that aspect was really interesting as well. So I recommend stop motion with a warning. It's not for everyone. And even if you trust my recommendations, you might see this movie and say, Gore, why did you recommend it? I warned you. About stop motion. Dark and not for everyone. But I love it.
So it's just creepy weird, or is it like
really creepy? I mean, really creepy. Like just look
bump
up
in the night
Brothers
kind of creepy,
Quay.
or yeah.
Just look up the Brothers Quay. Someone mentioned in the chat, we're gonna get to your questions. Eraserhead. Like, you know how Eraserhead is? This is like Eraserhead in color with a young woman at the center. It has like that kind of tone where it goes into a dreamlike state that is otherworldly. And like I say, if you've seen Brothers Quay, you will understand. You will understand. So I like the Brothers Quay, but there's no dialogue or necessarily any story to Brothers Quay. They're very much stop motion animated experimental films. So, and they're very cinematic. So I like this film a lot. I like this film a lot, knowing it's not for everybody. So there you go.
We gave it a 8 out of 10. What did you give it?
No, our review on the Film Threat website, I'd say 7.5 out of
Okay.
10. Is it on Film Threat right now? I'll share.
Yeah, it's not on the cover, but it's it posted. It's just scroll back one review and it's there.
Okay, cool. Well, because it's I think it's important for you to see what this looks like. See the so it got an 8 out of 10 on Film Threat from our reviewer, and that gives you some idea of what the visuals are. If you can see this, it's very creepy, especially when it gets to a here we go. Oh, so Perry Norton, one of our newer writers, wrote this review and gave it an 8 out of 10. It really is haunting. I love the movie poster for this film as well. I think the poster's fantastic.
Yeah.
So there you go. I recommend it. Again, not for everyone. I'm still annoyed about stop motion. Definitely not for everyone. I particularly dislike abstract surreal movies like this. It was too long and just stupid. Probably could have worked better as a short. I disagree. I feel like part of the tone is the point and getting you in this somnambulistic state. If I could use that, I don't get to use that word somnambulistic all that often, but I'm going to say that. But I grew up watching Brothers Quay and I grew up doing stop motion animation. The problem with stop motion, it's mostly affiliated with like Nightmare Before Christmas, which is totally safe, dark, Halloween stop motion. I really enjoyed it. So, but like I say, I enjoyed it with a warning. You may not like it.